Hello, before we start, it is important to mention that this is a re-uploaded video because Revopoint asked for some changes, and this is allowed only if I have some errors or mistakes in the video. And actually I have on two places the error. In one of my scanning I didn't pay attention to the distance and it was scanned too far. And the second, if we want to get full accuracy from the scanner, we have to change some settings from automatic to manual, and some of them are a little bit hidden. Now let's start with the video. Hello, welcome to my Tech One. I have a 3D scanner review, and this is the Revopoint MINI, and this is sent to me by the Revopoint in exchange for the review. Now this scanner uses high accuracy blue light instead of the infrared like POP2, but this means that it is accurate, but it is more sensitive to the ambient light, and it is recommended to use this scanner indoor. I also got from the Revopoint these two sprays, vanishing sprays. This one will vanish after 4 hours, this between 12 and 24 hours, and with this I am able to scan even transparent or shiny objects too. This is another bird version. This means that it has some not finished parts, like it doesn't have RGB camera yet, and also some filters are not mounted yet, so I got a warning in email not to touch those lenses, but everything will be finished in the official final version. It is currently still on the Kickstarter at this moment. According to the website, the point distance in point cloud is 0.05 millimeters, and 0.02 millimeter is the precision, which is quite really precise. As I mentioned, it uses the blue light. 10 frames per second is the scanning speed, and it is very light. But let's see what's in the box. On the top we have this box. Let's see first what's inside. Some warranty card, a small tripod, a holder for the mobile phone, a small figure for the test scanning, approximately 6 centimeters, maybe 2 inches. This is the scanner, and here it doesn't have those filters, so they wrote me an email not to touch it. Properly here comes the blue light, and there is the connection for the cable. And we have 3 types of the cables, 2 in 1. This is USB-A to micro B, and this is USB-C to micro B. Currently I'm not sure what is this, some kind of stickers, holds down photographs. Here we have some stickers, marking points. This must be some kind of calibration surface, and the box is empty. But we are not finished yet. The turntable and the power adapter. Let's see, I hope we have the correct plug. Yes, this is the one which I need. I've connected the cable to the turntable, and this cable is approximately 1.5 meters long. And the scanner I will connect with my laptop with this cable here, and this is approximately 2 meters long. I'm securing the position with these 2 screws. And when I connected the scanner, this LED turned from blue to green, and actually it is ready for the scanning, only I have to install the software. The software I will use is the RevoScan, which I already installed earlier. The user interface is very simple. So here we have the preview of the object, here I can start new scan, and here I can list the models I scanned earlier. Here I have some instructions, is it too near or it is in good distance. I'm currently in scanning mode. Here I have some guides if I need, user manual, similar, and this is the support. Here is the RGB camera view. As I mentioned, this is the early bird version. This doesn't have the RGB camera yet, but the official version will have. And this is the depth camera, and this is the object, which is a little bit hardly visible now, but I will raise the strength of the light. So first I have to play a little bit with the distance, but also with the light intensity. And if I have correct settings, I will have here excellent or good is the sign here, not too far and not too near. And then I can move to the scanning tab. Here I can enter the name of the model of the file. Accuracy I will leave it to high accuracy scan using a markers which are actually on a turntable. And since it doesn't have the RGB camera, this early bird version, but the official version will have, I will leave it no color. Okay. And when I'm ready, I can start with the scan here with this triangle. Now for better accuracy, I'm disabling this option. And then I'm able to set manually the point pitch to 0.04. Smaller value means more resources from the computer. And this is the point cloud. As you can see, I don't have any points on those surfaces which were not visible from this view angle. Then I'm creating the mesh. I will do it in automatic mode, only enabling this fill hole option. And this is the final result in one pass. I have quite a lot of details, and all those surfaces are connected now. The object don't have any holes anymore. And by clicking on this button, we can export this file, and between the options there is the STL file too for 3D printing. Since it uses the markers on the turntable, I will now try to scan this from two positions. One will be in higher angle, and then I will lower it and try to catch these marker points, but also the back surface here. I am pausing the scan. Resume. Stop, and now let's see the result. And now even this back surface is scanned correctly. I have quite a lot of details. Now I want to try to scan this in two positions, but now I will rotate the object itself on this turntable. Now when I start to scan, I will not use the markers now, because when I turn it, the markers will stay in the same position and the markers are not on the object itself. So in this case, I'm changing the scan mode to features. This was the scan in first position. I am pausing the scanning, rotating the object, and I hope it will be recognized. Resume. Basically it would be enough if I scan only the bottom part of the face here. Pause. Let's try a third position. Resume. It recognized. So I will catch the bottom of this surface on the back side. Yes, it's recorded. I can now stop the scanning. Complete. And now it is recorded bottom of the face and the back side. Maximum quality denoise, let's say on level 4, fill holes. And I think this is the best object so far in my experimenting. Export, and I try to print this one. I don't know why it loads it under the angle. Not too big deal, but I think it should know its correct position. I will slice it from the bottom a little bit to get flat surface for printing. And I will print this from Polytera PLA. This material is my favorite when I 3D print figures. It doesn't have so strong layer adhesion, but it is very easy to remove the supports. And here they are, side by side. And now let's test the real accuracy of this scanner. I will scan this GT2 pulley. It is in perfect white color and distance between teeth is 2 millimeters. And it is important here that I will enable those manual settings because by default the accuracy is not so big, and it is important to set the pitch point to 0.02 millimeters to get maximal accuracy. I'm starting a new scan in marker mode, adding a little bit more light. Distance is excellent, and I'm starting the new scan and I'm waiting for one rotation. Stop, and this is important. I'm disabling the fuse point cloud immediately button, and then I'm able to set manually the point pitch distance, which is 0.02 millimeters, creating a point cloud. And then I can create a mesh. Again, I'm using the manual settings here, and this is how it looks like. So this is very small. Don't forget, distance between the tooth is 2 millimeters. And I have a feeling that I can see layer lines here. And then I'm playing with the mesh mixer a little bit, cleaning some objects and slicing the bottom part, and basically this would be ready for printing. And this object is downloadable from my website. Another test for accuracy, I'll try to scan this M10 bolt, but probably I have to try to use some coating on it because it is too shiny. The distance is excellent, but unfortunately I cannot set enough light to get correct scanning, so I'll try to use this spray on the surface. And I'm starting a new scan again in marker mode, adding a little bit more light, but I have to pay attention not to overexpose any surface. Starting the scanning, waiting for one rotation, and again in manual mode I'm setting the point pitch to most accuracy, creating a point cloud, and then in automatic mode I'm just creating a mesh, and this surface came out really great. I will not print it, just visual analyzing it, but this combination of the spray and the metal works great with this scanner. Interesting to see that this scanning spray doesn't work equally on different surfaces. Until on metal it is still on perfect shape after maybe 1.5 hours, until on the rubber it starts with disappearing after maybe 5 or 10 minutes. This is £1 coin, and I'll try to scan only this side here, but it is too shiny, so I have to use this scanning spray here. And this is another scan in the marker mode, waiting for one rotation, and then creating a point cloud with the maximum accuracy, and this is the result. Not super readable text, but it can definitely be recognized, the face and the text, and now I'm playing just a little bit in Mesh Mixer to clean the object. In my next test I was searching for some darker object, and I was looking in the toy box of my youngest daughter and I found Mr. Poop. Made in China for European Union. Small joke. And I will see if I can scan it as it is now, probably not, and then I will use this vanishing spray and I will do the scanning then, and I will want to see if, for example, eyes and mouth, it sticks out a little bit, maybe less than 0.5 millimeters, and I'm very curious if it will be visible or not on the scanning part. As I predicted, the dark parts are not visible at all, only these white areas in the eyes or mouth. So definitely I have to use this vanishing spray. I will try to not to touch it with my finger. I can immediately see that we have much better results. And this is the scan from the original video where the scanning distance was too far, but I got quite acceptable results. Some parts are not scanned because the coating came down in the meantime from the surface. And this is new repeated scanning, and I'm first preparing the surface. And I already see that the white powder came off after 5 minutes, and I will show you my problem now. If I go too close as Revopop requested to get excellent distance, I will not have enough marking points for the tracking, and only now I have excellent distance. And if I start with the scanning, you will see probably it will have lost the tracking. As you can see, yes, lost track, and it cannot put the frames together. I will stop the scanning, and to have enough markers in the view angle I have to raise the distance, and now I can see that I constantly have at least 4 or 5 markers visible. And let's try to do this scanning now, but now the distance is good and not excellent. The scanning is now smooth and continuous without lost tracking. But as you can see, some areas are not scanned, and the reason for this is that the scanning spray disappears from the rubber surface after 5 to 10 minutes. But the result is very similar to my original scan where the distance was too far. And one last test for this video. I want to try this scanner in handhold mode. Now this is mostly designed to be very accurate with the turntable, but I want to give it a try. And I will scan this guy here. Maybe you know him from my previous scanning videos, the only member of my family who is able to be my model. But anyway, with this scanner it is not good to scan a face from 2 reasons. First, this blue light is not too good for the eyes, and the second is, well, it's not recommended to use this spray on a human skin. I will try to scan only the head. And it's ready for scanning. It is very hard to spread equally that vanishing white spray, and I will try to scan first using the features without these marking points. And I will not enable the screen recording on my laptop because I want to get full processing power from it. This is too far. And basically from here it starts to be excellent. From maybe 20 centimeters distance, so it will be quite hard to scan it equally, constantly from this distance, but let's give it a try. Well, it looks like in a feature mode it is very hard to do this kind of scanning in handheld mode because the view angle is small and there is not enough geometry to connect those pictures, and sometimes it lost the tracking. Now I will place these markers and try to repeat the scanning again. Well, the problem I have that these stickers don't want to stay on this powder, but I hope they will stay now. And I will just try to scan the front of the face. Actually, during the editing I noticed that when it started it was quite white, but it vanished so slowly in front of my eyes that I didn't notice it. So this is how it looked like before I started with the scanning, and this is after 15 minutes. New scan, and this time in marker mode. Okay. Now the tracking works correctly. I can see that it didn't lose the tracking thanks to these markers, but the problem is that I know for some reason on some spots it already started to vanish this white powder, so it couldn't record the scan that area. Now I can see that the scanning was correct. Each point is on its own place, and the only problem is, as I mentioned, that I don't have enough white color. So if this horse would be, I don't know, in white color, then this method would work perfectly. Now one additional information from the future. Theoretically this spray should vanish after 12 or 24 hours, But now 1 hour later, after I try to scan this horse, look, the spray almost vanished from the most of the part. So maybe that was the reason that it started vanishing too quickly. Maybe I should try this one, but this theoretically vanished after 4 hours. Okay, one more attempt. This time I use this blue spray, which has the vanishing time of 4 hours. It is coated quite good from this side, but only I have to again place new stickers. And again a new scan in marker mode. Now it was much better, definitely, and I noticed that if I have 4 markers in the screen, in the frame, in that case he can follow very easily. If he lost the tracking, and then I have to find 4 spots, so this means I have to place a little bit more density on these markers. Again, I try to scan only front of the face. As you can see from the side, or maybe here, markers are falling down. It already vanished. And I noticed that it starts vanishing here, so I don't know, this doesn't list 4 or 12 hours. And this is the final match, as I mentioned, only from the front side, and not bad results, but it is really hard to do this combination. So this vanishing spray plus these markers which cannot stay on this spray. I want to do some experimenting, so what can it see without that spray? I have here different colors, and here I have that sample object, and this is 3D printed one. I will start with them, so they are clearly visible. I set the light intensity to 8, and definitely these 2 objects are nicely visible. This one here too. Interesting, the yellow is less visible, the blue is visible. This is orange, well, less visible than blue. Red is hardly visible. Green is again a little bit hardly visible. The mouse. No, the black parts are not visible, only this gray one. Another conclusions, a really decent smaller size 3D scanner. About this blue light, it is really accurate, especially if you are using in combination with a turntable, which already have these markers, and your object is in scannable color, you will get fantastic results. So it's really accurate. If I compare all scanners which I have here at home or I tested on this channel, from those 4, definitely this has the best resolution and the most details. But as I mentioned, if the object is in scannable color, because it uses this blue light, and you are using in the turntable mode, which already have these markers. As I predicted, using in the handhold mode, it is really hard, always much harder than using in the turntable. Problem is again that you need a surface which is scannable by this blue light, and well, these vanishing spray don't work so perfectly. On some spots they vanish too fast, but then I tried this blue one. I get a little bit better results, but the problem was, you saw that it is very hard to place these markers on this powder, basically on this white surface, because they fall down. I noticed that if I have at least 4 spots in view, in that case it can follow and put together, connect the frames. So this means that bigger density of these markers always will give much better results, but perfect would be if already that object would be in, I don't know, white color or on that color, which is scannable by this blue light scanner. About the software, definitely I can see that this is not completely finished version. There are some space for improvements. The small things, for example, I noticed that if I set the volume of the light on preview, if I start with the scanning, it forgets that setting, so I have to change it again. So pay attention to this, but probably this will be fixed in final version. I'm missing some kind of undo function when I create a mesh, and then I notice, oh, I forgot to enable filling the holes, or maybe I would like to change the density, so it would be good if I could go back one step and repeat that mesh creating. Small thing, definitely that noise should be changed, or maybe it's to disable it and that's it. And I noticed that the preview is a little bit confusing, it's not in center. So I set the blue lights to an object to be in the center, but the preview is not. I noticed the scanning is in the center, so this should be in synchron. I'm curious, well, definitely, probably this would work much better when the RGB camera will be finished and included on this scanner. Well, that was my experience. These were just my first scannings. I have to play a little bit more with this, and then when I have some more experience, I will create maybe some additional video with scanning a lot of samples to see the possibilities of this scanner. And that will be it. Thank you for watching and happy 3D scanning.